Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really practical, step-by-step playbook for building absolute financial resilience. Our goal here is actually pretty simple. We want to completely demystify the whole process of building long-term wealth and everyday security through multiple income streams. So, let's just get right into it.
I want to hook you right out of the gate with a slightly uncomfortable but absolutely vital question. What happens when your only paycheck suddenly stops? Seriously, I want you to genuinely think about that for a second.
Look, the blunt reality is that most people earn their money from exactly one place. One employer, one client, one paycheck. And hey, that works beautifully right up until it doesn't. Relying on a single source of income basically means you're trapped. When things go wrong, say a layoff, an economic downturn, a sudden company restructure, you have zero backup plan. Your entire financial foundation cracks, and you are literally entirely exposed.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. To get you off that precarious edge, we're going to cover 1. The single paycheck trap. 2. 3 types of income. 3. Curating your income streams. 4. Avoiding common growth traps. And finally, 5. The 30-day action plan. Let's dive in.
Section 1. The single paycheck trap, moving from vulnerability to a balanced portfolio.
Escaping this trap doesn't mean you have to quit your job to juggle, 30 chaotic side hustles. Not at all. For a full-time employee, a healthy, balanced income portfolio looks a lot like this. Roughly 70% from your primary active salary. Then 15% from a secondary active source, like maybe freelance consulting. Another 10% from a tertiary portfolio source, like index funds. And finally, just 5% from an experimental passive income project. So why does this specific ratio work so well? Well, because it protects your downside. You maintain the core stability of your primary job, which pays the rent and buys the groceries, right? And then you intentionally add targeted growth, gradually building in low-stakes experimentation without totally overwhelming your schedule or risking your livelihood.
Section 2. 3 types of income. The structural framework of wealth.
First up, we've got active income. And this is exactly what it sounds like. You are trading your time for money. It includes things like your base salary, freelance projects, hourly consulting work, all of that. Now, this is highly predictable, and it is literally the absolute best way to build a financial foundation quickly because it provides immediate cash flow. You do the work, you get the paycheck. Simple. But, and this is a critical limitation, it scales pretty poorly. Why? Because you're ultimately capped by the sheer number of hours in a day. The minute you stop working, the money stops flowing.
Next up, we have passive income. This involves investing significant time or capital upfront to create an asset that continues paying ongoing returns with minimal effort later on. Think digital products, YouTube ad revenue, royalties. But listen, let me give you a necessary reality check right now. The passive part? Yeah, that comes way after the hard work. Most of these streams require a solid 6 to 24 months of heavy front-loaded effort before they generate any meaningful revenue. For example, building an audience for a newsletter might literally mean a full year of writing to almost 0 people before the algorithm finally clicks and your subscriber count starts to climb.
Finally, there's portfolio income. And this means earning returns from investments in assets that appreciate or pay dividends over time. Now, yes, this requires starting capital. You do need money to make money here. But over the years, the magic of compounding growth is going to do the heavy lifting for your true long-term financial independence. It is the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it wealth builder.
Moving right along to Section 3, Curating Your Income Streams. Top picks for 2026. Looking at the top active streams curated from our source guide, optimizing your current career is almost always your highest return on investment move. Think about it. Negotiating a $15,000 raise takes 0 extra hours outside of your work week, but by contrast, building a brand new side hustle to make that exact same $15,000, that might take you 2 grueling years. So you really want to focus on strategic career advancement first. Some other powerful active moves include pivoting to a higher paying field, doing freelance consulting in your specific niche, or maybe taking on high-value contract work.
Now, for passive streams, the absolute highest leverage opportunities are highly digital. Digital products and templates, email newsletters on platforms like Substack, YouTube channels, and print-on-demand products. What's fantastic here is that these start with 0 to very low monetary costs. But to actually stand out and generate anywhere from $500 to $50,000 monthly, you have got to focus. You have to solve specific, recurring problems for a very clearly defined audience. Because remember this, generic content competes with everybody, and it earns absolutely nothing.
Moving to our top portfolio streams, the absolute standout for accessibility here is index fund investing, which boasts 7 to 10% historical returns. Broad diversification through index funds is quite simply the single most accessible long-term wealth building strategy available to you. And why is that? Because you're buying a tiny slice of the entire market. It doesn't require you to be a stock-picking genius, it just relies on the consistent discipline of contributing monthly, completely regardless of what the market is doing. We also have dividend stocks, REITs for easy real estate exposure, and high-yield savings accounts currently sitting around 3 to 5% APY just to protect your cash reserves against inflation.
Section 4. Avoiding common growth traps. The reality check.
The crucial point here is choosing focus over frenzy. First off, beware of shiny object syndrome. That overwhelming urge to constantly jump between exciting new ideas every few weeks. This is a fatal trap. Instead, you've got to embrace consistent focus. Commit to just 1 or 2 streams for at least 6 to 12 months. Remember what we said earlier about passive income taking time? Well, if you keep pivoting every single month, how will you ever cross that threshold into real profitability? Spoiler alert, you won't.
And here is another massive trap: neglecting your primary income. Please do not get so distracted by an exciting new side hustle that you start underperforming at your main job. Your W-2 job is your most reliable foundational income, period. Instead, you should be optimizing your career first, secure that $10,000 raise, and then use that solid, stress-free foundation to safely fund your external experiments. Basically, don't risk the bird in the hand while you're busy chasing 2 in the bush.
All right, Section 5, the 30-day action plan, your step-by-step playbook.
We've talked a lot of strategies, so now let's get you off the sidelines. Here is exactly how this builds week by week. Step 1. Week 1 is all about assessment. Honestly auditing your current finances, figuring out exactly how much free time you have, and mapping your specific goals. Step 2. Week 2 is optimizing your current career and foundation. Go have that conversation with your boss about a raise or better hours. Whatever you do, do not skip this step. Step 3. Week 3 is setting up your basic digital infrastructure and officially launching your first stream. Just pick one single focus area and go live. Finally, Step 4. Week 4 is all about building momentum, tracking your early results to see what's working, and creating automated systems so you can continue to grow without burning yourself out.
Now, consider the number 168. That is exactly how many hours we all have in a single week. The single most common excuse for not starting is, I just don't have time. But the honest truth, you only need to find 5 protected, dedicated hours a week to start executing on that 30-day plan. Go ahead and audit your screen time on your phone. I can almost guarantee you're going to find those 5 hours hidden in social media scrolling or mindless television.
I want to wrap things up with this really powerful, provocative thought directly from our source material. In 6 months, you'll wish you had started today. In 5 years, you'll be grateful you did. The absolute best time to start building your financial resilience isn't when a crisis happens. It's right now, while you still have a stable foundation. Pick your one stream, carve out those 5 hours, and take that very first step today. So what are you waiting for? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.